Energies, the world is changing, and we are changing along with it. At the beginning of the year, I released a video on my channel about the energies of 2023. Today, I would like to talk about this topic again and remind you that everything in our lives depends on us ourselves. Many people are used to a certain measured routine in life, a certain sameness every day. And already a month and a half of this year has literally flown by, and I want to remind you again how important it is to try to see the world in a new way this year, to start something new for yourself, to work with your thinking. And this is really important now to develop your thinking, because with each new year, each month, each day, we all feel how time relentlessly accelerates. The energies around us accelerate all the flows. I felt such an acceleration literally a week before the new year 2023. And if previously any intentions that we implemented in our reality could form over a long period, and now you don't even have time to think, and it's already there. Look, you didn't even blink, and you're already holding it in your hands. And I think this trend will only accelerate. That is, our intentions. Desires will be fulfilled literally at the snap of a finger, playfully, almost effortlessly. And this is undoubtedly just great and magical. But there is also the flip side of the coin. By the snap of a finger, not only our positive intentions, desires, and dreams will come true, but also negative ones, those that we reproduce in greater quantity and almost unconsciously perceiving them as the norm. Energies are changing and changing very quickly. That is undeniable. We are on the road to great changes. But these changes must take place not only with energies, but we too must change. Because the phrase word is not a sparrow, and in our case a thought's not is not sparrow, is now more relevant than ever. Therefore, I will not tire of repeating that at this time, during the period of transition, acceleration of energy, and upcoming changes, it is very important for us to start changing ourselves and to start primarily with our thinking. Nowadays, there is a lot of talk about everything changing, that humanity will emerge from the shackles into which has been immersed through the matrix. And this is undeniable. I myself have exposed the matrix several times. I have talked a YT playlist a lot about it and will continue to talk and expose it further. But despite this, you must understand that the matrix, primarily in our head, is our thinking. It is how we view life, how we have become accustomed to living, how we have been taught to live. When we talk about wanting to live well, in a new wonderful, wonderful world, we must not forget that someone has to build that world for us. Someone will have to do it, and that someone is us. We and only we, with our own hands, no one else but us. What do you see for yourself in this new society in the future? With what thinking? With what attitude towards life? And what do you see it as now? But you must understand that it is essentially the same society. It will not disappear, not move to another planet as a colony, and not die out in an instant in the parameters of natural selection, good or bad. Therefore, it will have to change. It will have to change, because the changing world simply will not let it stay in its old parameters of perceiving life. And it depends on each of us how quick and easy our personal changes will be. And when we talk about how to get out of the matrix, we are talking about changing thinking. After all, it is not for nothing that those who declared themselves owners of the world say that the best slave is the one who considers himself free. Therefore, the matrix is primarily a cage of your consciousness, a cage into which you were imperceptibly for you immersed, and they did it so that you yourself did not even notice how you lost that very freedom, being in illusory perceptions of the world, where you think you have to endure something, where it seems to you that you have to make choices based on circumstances and adjust to them, where you have been indoctrinated that you live in a world that controls you and your life affects it. But this is absolutely not the case, because the only thing that controls your life is your thoughts, and the one who created the cage of your consciousness knew this well. Therefore, when we talk about global transition, a new society, a new world, the first thing we should start with is to start breaking this cage. Start with yourself, from how you look at this world, how you perceive what happens to you. I really want to convey that we must understand that, in essence, the moments of transformation that are currently happening in this world are a transformation primarily for ourselves. And the first thing we encounter is our comfort zone. The comfort zone is our usual perception of the world, our usual perception of our thinking, the thinking that is instilled in us from childhood, the thinking that is actively trained everywhere and by all means the social environment, kindergarten, textbooks, movies, books, advertising. All this sets the rhythm for us, the rhythm of how and in what direction our thoughts should flow, what we should see around us, how to perceive it correctly, to look at white, to see black there, or vice versa, to perceive as the norm all sorts of phenomena, and so on. We do not even give this any importance, but we should, because thought is what controls this world and sets its overall course. That is, you have probably heard such an expression that thought is material, and this is not just some particularly beautiful turn of phrase. This phrase carries its message in the literal sense of the word. Thought is what moves you forward. Thought is what reflects the entire space around you. Thought is exactly what brings your reality into motion, implements any intention you have formed, and the world around you is, in essence, a reflection of your thoughts, and the reality in which all humanity is currently located is a product of its life activity. That is, the product of the life activity of our society formed at this moment. This is the essence of what exactly that old and imposed thinking led us here, to the point where we are now, in a point where we stand with one foot on the brink of the abyss and the other on the threshold of great positive changes. And it depends only on us in which direction we will ultimately step. And if you are here now reading this article, then I think that you are definitely not a supporter of stepping into the abyss. So you want change, and change is primarily such that will bring this world to the final chords of transition along the best timelines. So you should start with yourself. I want every person to try to hear my words, because your moment of inner transformation will depend on how much you let it all happen. Because very many now want the world around them to change, but at the same time they do not want to change themselves also. It does not happen that way, but as before, it will not work out. It will not work out to close your eyes and be in the effect of the three monkeys. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Time events, energies, all this will only accelerate, and you will not be able to sit it out. And the more you drag it out and hope that it will somehow pass you by, the more likely you are to fly to new shores, not on the wave of energies, catching it like an experienced surfer, but to find yourself in a situation where you are simply twisted into a meat grinder of this wave, and then no one can predict in what form you will be thrown ashore. The world I saw just yesterday is not the world I see today. The thoughts that were usual for me yesterday, the thinking of yesterday, that is not the thinking I have today. This should be that very transformation, that which everyone can do. Old norms, what we have been accustomed to for years, accepting as truth, will crumble. In the new world, there is no room for old views and settings. We must accept new states, where we tell ourselves, I don't want to live like this, my old views brought me here. Realize that you and your thoughts are a universal tool with which you can do absolutely everything. Realize that you and your thoughts are a universal tool with which you can do absolutely everything. Feel the inner strength, unlock it. Feel how, with its help, you can control your reality and the energy of the surrounding world. Find out what intention is, learn to launch it, and with its help change your life. And even if you've tried before and didn't work out, try now. Because, as I already said, the movement of matter has accelerated and we can realize ourselves, our intention much faster, and therefore learning now is much easier. Since tutti frutti I have taught this to many, and I can say that here too the parameter works, does not work, lies first of all in the cage of our consciousness, and breaking it, you will simply be surprised at why you didn't do this before, because you will start living not in the position of victim of circumstances, but in the position of the master of your reality. Your life will change drastically when you stop thinking in old standards. When you realize that it's up to you to remove the patterns of negative thinking, negative scenarios that have become the norm will stop happening to you. And not only that you will stop processing your negative scenarios, but also stop fueling others with your energy. For example, such patterns as everything is bad for me, something bad always happens to me. Just think how much it has become customary for everyone around us, including ourselves, to think this way and to be in constant expectation of the bad. Our heads have been filled with the expectation of constant negative development. Television is sheer fear, panic, everything is bad. In social networks, news on the internet, everywhere now you can see literally from different angles how one disaster happens then and none other than the next. Just yesterday it was just some kind of movie in theaters, and now it's happening in all corners of the world. And so they constantly immerse us in these energies of fear, panic, quarrels, and fighting among themselves. But who needs this and why? Exactly to those who know the power of your thoughts. Exactly to those who know that expecting all the bad inevitably leads to this bad somehow. When you think, for example, that you are late or you will be fired or betrayed or something else, then you tune your reality to it. You allow such scenarios in reality, and reality will work like that because you yourself set these parameters. Therefore, learn to set parameters differently, that around the corner something good is waiting for you. There is already a new job, a new activity, a new environment, meeting a new person waiting for you. Learn to live with a clear confidence that everything will be good for you, that this whole world is for you. Then the doors in front of you will open where you need them to. The world is changing, and the very matter and its movement is changing. And we must change too. Do not break, twisted in the meat grinder of the ninth wave, be on the wave, be the wave itself. Realize that this world, first and foremost, is a world of opportunities, and then great changes can occur in your life. Change yourself, change this world. What we have heard so far is the world is changing, and so are we. At the beginning of the year, I released a video about the energies of 2023. I want to revisit this topic to remind everyone that our lives are shaped by our actions. The importance of new perspectives. Many are accustomed to a predictable daily routine. As we're already a month and a half into the year, it's crucial to try looking at the world anew, initiating personal changes, and focusing on mental development, the acceleration of time and intentions. Each year, month, and day, we feel time speeding up. The energies around us are accelerating. Now, intentions materialize almost instantly. What used to take time now happens in the blink of an eye. This rapid realization of our desires and intentions is both magical and challenging, as negative thoughts manifest just as quickly, through the dual nature of energy acceleration. While the ease of manifesting desires can be exhilarating, there's a risk negative intentions can also manifest swiftly, often without our conscious realization. This underscores the importance of mindful thinking and the careful cultivation of our desires, the necessity of change. We are facing a period of significant change, not just externally but internally. The phrase, "a thought is not a sparrow," highlights the lasting impact of our thoughts. During this transformative period, changing our mindset is as crucial as changing the external world, breaking free from the matrix. There is much discussion about breaking free from the constraints of the matrix, an external force that has subtly controlled us. However, the real matrix lies within our mindset, shaped by society, education, and media from a young age. This realization is key to initiating personal and societal transformation. The power of thought. All thoughts have the power to shape our reality. They are the tools through which we experience and interact with the world. By recognizing and altering our thought patterns, we can change our lives and the world around us. Call to action personal transformation. It's not enough to wish for a better world, we must actively participate in its creation. This involves challenging our comfort zones and the deep-seated beliefs that define them. We must start by changing ourselves, our perspectives, our reactions, and our intentions. Conclusion on embrace change and possibility. The world's rapid changes are an opportunity for personal growth and transformation. By embracing new ways of thinking and being, we can navigate these changes successfully and emerge empowered. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share my channel. Become a member of my Telegram channel and discuss with like-minded people as a club member.